lost in the shadows of who she used to be. Does mom have a
Welcome,
name?
everyone, to our latest podcast. I'm so excited. Nicole's so excited. We have got the beautiful Pixie Creations
Yay.
online. But before we step into her story, which is so amazing, I want us to go back a little bit, Nick, and talk about how we got to meet Pixie. Okay. So I'm going to start, if you don't mind, and then if you want to um, just pop in. So, what's on my mind most, Nicole, was how tough your year was last year. You had the cancer diagnosis. I mean, and in all reality, you were told you may not have got to last Christmas.
No, that's right. So really
Yeah.
going down for this Christmas. So it's really special time for me. Yeah.
And I remember you getting the great news that things were on the mend and you were going well. And you sat down with your sister and wrote a whole list of wonderful things that you wanted to do. And one of them was to attend the Chrome Fest this year.
Yeah, that's right. So I actually made a bucket list when I was really sick, and I said to my sister, like this, if I survive, I said one thing I want to do is go to Chrome Fest. I want you to dress up, and I just want us to have fun, spend the weekend there. And and for my sister, it was so outside of her box. Like she just wasn't into dressing up. She wasn't, into all of that. So it was really exciting for us this year. We both dressed up and we color coordinated, and it was just so much fun. It's yeah, it was so much fun.
And I was involved with one of the fashion parades, helping a beautiful friend of ours, Linda Speechley. And I got to meet Pixie there for the very first time when I had to run up to her stall and say, "We're starting soon," because Pixie was one of our judges.
Yeah, that's right.
And from the moment I walked into her little space, Pixie, your energy was just beautiful.
Oh,
Instantly,
thank
instantly. I thought we spoke for a little while and you were so kind and so calm and so gentle in your speech. And I walked away and I thought, oh, I like her. She's part of my tribe.
you.
I am part of your tribe, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I had a similar experience. Like I've seen Pixie before. I've been to Chrome Fest most years. So it's only been the last couple of years where I've had the confidence really to get dressed up and become part of Chrome Fest. And like I've always said, like I identify as Pixie because you are like how I want to dress, just your whole overall vision and style. It's just amazing. So yeah, we've definitely admired you from afar. So it was so exciting this year when Deb, when we went up and actually got to meet you this year and just having you. And I think you're a great guest for people to learn about your life because, looks can be deceiving and it looks like you have this fantastic life and you've put together and you're all of these things, but you've actually have a really interesting story. So I can't wait for everyone to learn about that.
It's true. It's true. It's been very interesting journey. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can start. Obviously we all know that your life's been extraordinary. But I'm keen to learn about it with everybody else as well. So maybe you can just share about some of the defining moments that you've had in your life.
Defining moments. I guess there's been many, 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 but I think something that really drove home with me was my first son that was born. Now, when I was pregnant with him, I thought there was something wrong with him. And there is actually scientific proof medically that there is that true connection between mother and child. Like literally, you are sharing DNA and all of that. So
Mm.
I felt throughout my pregnancy that there was something wrong. And of course, I got dismissed. It's fine. There's nothing wrong. And then my beautiful little boy, Keenan, was born. And I knew instantly that he was in agonizing pain. So he wouldn't open his eyes for a week. He was screaming 24 hours a day, and I went to take him to pediatrician after pediatrician after pediatrician and said, "There's something wrong with my son." They said, "Oh, how would you know that?" Because he's in pain. "Oh, how would you know he's in pain?" And I even got dismissed so many times. I got called a neurotic mother and to leave them alone. And
Yeah.
eventually, unfortunately, 3 months old, when he was 3 months old, finally someone in a children's hospital listened to us, and he was diagnosed with an extremely rare genetic disease called severe infantile osteopetrosis. So basically, he's only the third child in Australia to have it. And at that stage, there was only 12 documented children in America to have it. So an extremely rare disease. And he was in agonizing pain. That's what he was truly in. The problem is that we as women get constantly dismissed for what we're trying to say. And now, how did I know that my son was sick? Because he was part of my DNA. I literally could feel his pain, literally could feel his pain. To cut a very, very long and horrific story short, basically he, after having a bone marrow transplant and occipital bones removed, and had hydrocephalus and had to have a bone marrow transplant, like this poor little boy was just literally went through absolute hell, but fought every single day to stay on earth. And I thought that if he can do that as this newborn baby, if he has the drive to fight every day to stay with me, who am I to let him down and not fight as well? So unfortunately, a week before his first birthday, we got the news that he had beaten his disease, which, I mean, obviously he would have had long-term effects from the disease that had already, were irreversible. But thanks to medical negligence, my son passed away. Okay. And of course, I still haven't got over it, to be honest. Like it's been 25 years and I never will get over it. And everyone says, oh, don't worry, you'll get over it. Well, I won't get over it because it was my child. I share biologically, I share with him. So, I will always feel that loss, like a part of me is lost, which is true.
Yeah.
But he is the one, he's truly my hero. He's the one that has then, for the rest of my very interesting life, has given me the strength to fight. Because again, whenever I start feeling down, whenever I can't cope, and we all go through things like that in your life, stages in your life where it's just like too much to be able to cope, I think of that tiny little baby that despite all the horrific pain he was in, he still managed to smile and he still fought every day. So that was a real defining moment for me in my life.
And you living that's how you got that emotional connection. Because I'm listening to your story and I'm thinking, what a strong woman. But because you had that emotional connection, that's what kept you fighting.
That's right. That's right. I'm not a strong woman. That little baby gave me his positive energy to keep fighting. Yeah. How could you look at that child and say, you know what, I know you're in pain, but I just can't do this anymore. This is just too much, living in a hospital for 9 months and, not feeling like I didn't have any support. I mean, obviously my family were very supportive, but there's only a certain amount other people can do. You have to be able to do it yourself. And, I'd look over at this little boy lying in his bed with all these massive tubes hanging out of him. And I think, why are you still fighting? And he was fighting because he wanted to stay with me.
Yeah.
So how dare I let him down and not fight as well?
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. And I'm speechless. I'm sorry. But you have really driven through such hard times and you've become such you are a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And you have such a passion for helping women.
That's true.
Women helping women.
That's absolutely true. That's right. So that, I guess you could say, started from the day I drew breath on this earth. So another interesting story. And honestly, I know you guys are saying there's no way this much has happened to one person, but I could literally write a book or a movie. Still, people wouldn't believe it, but it did happen. So you can imagine this little tiny baby, first breath, and then was secluded. I was secluded, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. For 13 days, I was by myself. a newborn baby, 13 days, where I felt no connection to another person. I felt no love. I was wondering why no one was there to support me. And then I was adopted out. So it's only been recently that I have found out the true story of my beginning of life. And that is that my biological mother, um, I was the fifth child of hers at the time, so the youngest from the same partner. She gave birth to me at the Royal Women's Hospital in Sydney, and she got told that her baby died at birth. And now she obviously was absolutely distraught, devastated, did not believe the doctors. She said, no, I want to see the baby. Well, this hospital brought in, and this is a true story, this hospital brought in a deceased baby, gave her the baby and said, here's your baby girl. She died. So that poor woman spent her entire life mourning for the loss of her child. Yeah. Now, I don't even know if she named me. I mean, I would assume she did, right? And the scary part is, am I buried somewhere? Like, she is now passed on, so I never got the chance to meet her. But am I buried somewhere? Like, obviously, if your baby passes away, you bury them, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So when people say walked over your grave, I mean, for me, it may be literal.
Maybe literal, yes.
Yes.
I'm not being rude, but that's crazy.
It is. It's insane. And it happened. It happened not just to me, but during the period of from 1965 up to 1972, I believe, 250,000 Caucasian babies in Australia were stolen from their parents.
No, it's crazy. I've never heard of that before.
That's right. Everyone knows about the Aboriginal stolen generation, right? We are called, and it's absolutely disgusting, the forgotten Australians. We're forgotten. Who are we forgotten by? My biological mother mourned me her entire life.
Yeah.
Who has forgotten me? I mean, what a disgusting banner to put on us, your label to put on us. So anyway, that's a true story. And as you can imagine, that first look at life for this newborn little baby, and of course I don't remember it, but it did affect me in such a severe way that for the rest of my life, or certainly, through my teens and through my young adulthood, I thought that, I was never wanted. I could never be loved enough. I was not worthy. And this is where I came to the conclusion that I need to help other women.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, I want to help the entire world to heal. I honestly do. But women in particular, because to lose that connection of birth mother and child, that's not to say I didn't have a mother. I did have a mother. I was adopted to a wonderful family. But that connection, that women supporting each other, that initial connection, I never had.
Yeah.
And so I'm not alone. I'm sure millions of women, doesn't matter how they came to this conclusion as a child or as an adult, think, I'm not worthy, I'm not special, I'm not good enough to be loved. But you are. You are. And it's taken me a lifetime to be able to find my tribe, which is what you said initially. And that's so true. You need to be able to find your tribe.
They're lies that we tell ourselves, or society tells.
Absolutely.
Imprints on us, and they're lies. And the reality is we have a tribe, we have people around us. We've got to find them, got to reach out.
That's right. We've got to find them. And that's why what you gals are doing here is absolutely amazing, because I wish that you had been around for me 20, 30, even 40 years ago. Because if I had had that connection with other women at that stage in my life, I know that I would have been able to overcome things in a supported way, which is what we all need. We all need to be supported. We're human beings. We need to have that human connection with other people. None of us can do it alone.
No.
We're not meant to. We're not meant to.
We're not meant to.
And that's something we've said, hey Deb, like we wish we
Yeah.
were around 40 years ago for ourselves, just having that person to go to. And we've got women who message us saying, we listen to your podcast in the bath, on a Sunday afternoon. That's our self-care thing. And we're just so
Yes,
happy that it's reaching the people that we intended it to reach. I think it's great that we are able to reach women that, and support them in a way that we didn't have that in our own lives.
absolutely.
So, for me, it's like, I love 50s, the 60s. I love that whole era. So when I go to a place, like I always say, Chrome Fest is like going back into time for 5 days. Like it's just that amazing, where you can be yourself and, like Deb said, meet your tribe and have people around you that all love the same things. So yeah, I just like, that's my favorite time of year. That and Christmas is like my
Yes.
I
yeah.
can understand that.
Yeah. Go, Deb.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we could actually move on to that. Can you tell us, Pixie, about your Miss Pinup Australia
Yeah.
Yeah,
days and what that was about?
absolutely. So just a quick background. I got into the 50s lifestyle. That's 50s lifestyle, 50s fashion, not 50s values. Back when I was 15 years old, and the reason why I found it, well, I got introduced to it by somebody, a friend, and it really resonated with me because up until that point, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I fitted in. I was completely lost as a person. And I found my tribe. I found people that had a love or a passion for the same things as me, the music and the hairstyles and the fashion that made you feel like $1 million. And so as my life continued, I wanted to be able to share my love and my passion for that vintage glamour with other women. And I wanted to give them an experience. The reason why Miss Pinup Australia started was I was asked to go and judge a pinup competition. And unfortunately, that pinup competition just cheapened women. So it got women to get out on stage in their lingerie. So you could have all the guys watching going, ooh, woohoo, whistle, whistle. But it wasn't a positive experience necessarily for those women. And of course, only a certain type of woman was allowed to participate too. So that was, your young, very slim, good looking women parading in underwear. So you can see where I'm coming from. I
Yes.
was absolutely mortified that there wasn't anything available to all women, real women of all ages, shapes, and sizes. So I created that space. And I used the term Miss Pinup Australia. So Miss Pinup Australia was the first vintage pinup pageant in the world to allow all women, all ages, shapes, and sizes, and we had specific categories for everybody so that everybody could join in the experience. And it was an experience. It wasn't a pinup competition where you just get up on stage and
It
the
was a
whole
journey by the
it
sounds of it.
was. It was a journey of self-growth and self-discovery. And a lot of women that we had women of all walks of life. So we had, professional women that were lawyers. We had some police officers, women that were in the army. We had some single mums. We had literally women of all demographics join
Yeah.
us. And what they all had in common, once you wipe away their work and their financial status and all of that, is that they have all carried trauma throughout their life and didn't know how to release that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we wanted
Interesting.
to create a safe space where women could support women and share their experiences in life and then learn how to, I mean, it's not a matter of overcoming when you've been through trauma either. That's not what it's about. It's about being able to acknowledge that it happened. It will never be erased. It's always going to be with you. It's always part of you. It has, in fact, defined the person that you are today. But how are you able to find you, the real you? So
Your
and
authentic self.
that's right, your authentic self. So I used to say that everyone has a pin-up girl deep down inside that wants to get out. But in fact, you could say it a different way, which is, everyone has a soul or a spirit
Yeah.
deep down inside that's trying to get out.
Yes.
So one of the most important exercises that I gave these gals very early on in their experience, which would go for a year, was to look in the mirror and say to themselves, look themselves in the eye. Now, this is very, very difficult for people to do, and to say, I am a beautiful, strong woman. And it was devastating for me to watch how many women could not even look at themselves in the eyes, or they cried because they had been beaten by life. They have let this trauma overtake them and let them, literally this trauma was defining who they were as a person. So this was all about how they can, keep all the positive, everything that's, contributing to their life in a positive way stays, and then release all that negativity that doesn't serve them in a positive way. And we did that all through Vintage Glamour, and it was amazing. It was, it was so amazing that we have been archived as part of Australian history, which for me is just like, that's such an honour to be able to, help women, empower women, and to be acknowledged by the Australian government that is exactly what we do. And we had thousands of women go throughout the years, and very, very proud of how these women went from somewhat broken initially, and you could watch their journey and watch them growing to the point where they were empowered. They were empowered. These women finally could see their own true beauty. And beauty is not on the outside. That's what comes from within.
That's right.
So it was absolutely, it's such a blessing. I'm so grateful to have been able to offer that opportunity to women and be part of their self-growth. So sorry, I could go on about it.
But I'm just thinking that looking at yourself in the mirror, yourself,
like in the eye, not just looking at the mirror.
That's right.
Actually looking at yourself in the eye. A lot of women can't do that at all.
It's tough. It's very tough.
Absolutely it is.
But while I'm listening to you, and I've had this experience myself, it's very liberating.
So liberating. And the thing is, initially you're not going to believe what you're telling yourself, right?
That's right.
And you're saying, I am a strong, beautiful woman. And initially you don't believe it. But if you tell yourself that enough, eventually your brain's going to go, hang on a second, I am a strong, beautiful woman. I've got this.
Can I jump in with a little story?
Please, yes.
A few years ago, you reminded me, a very dear girlfriend of mine, but she was a colleague as well. This was a few years ago, and I had some very big body image issues.
Yes.
Always was focused on my body and my image and what but not in a positive way. I always beat myself up. And she said to me, I want you to go in your bathroom, take your clothes off, and look in the mirror and look in your eyes, look at your body, and you tell yourself you're a beautiful woman.
Yep.
And that was difficult at first, and I laughed. But after a few times, it changed. I had a shift. And now my body image isn't, defining me. That's gone now. I can get on with other things. It's liberated me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it all comes down to your view of yourself.
Yes.
Like, we need to erase what other people think of you is none of your business. That is their opinion, and it's none of your business what they think of you. What you think of yourself is very important. It's actually vital.
Vital.
You understand that you are a divine being of light and love.
Absolutely.
You are. And now you need to convince yourself, this human body of yours, convince that's truly what you are. I mean, it is literally what you are. So you need to be able to erase what people have said to you, all this noise, all this negative noise that's constantly there telling you, no, you're not good enough. No, you're not worth it. No, you shouldn't make money. Oh, how dare you do this? Oh, you're ugly, you're fat, you da-da-da-da. Erase all of that. Because why should we give that any power whatsoever? Take your power back, ladies. Take your power back and your light, and then find that self-love, because that's literally what's going to give you. strength.
It's
Oh yeah,
scary.
petrified.
And when you talk,
Yeah,
Pixie, about the women that you went through this journey or walked through this journey with,
yeah.
I'm in a similar situation with my clients, and it's heartbreaking to see how broken they are
Oh yeah,
because they can't
yeah,
even look at themselves
yeah.
in the eye, you know?
It truly, truly heartbreaking.
And I think if you beautiful women saw what we saw,
That's
it
right.
would change. Wish
And
you could see what I see in you.
we understand why they feel that way
Yes,
because trauma throughout their life has molded them.
absolutely. I'm not
See that
dismissing that
mirror
at all.
themselves.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
it's very tough. But if we start to form a positive view of ourselves instead of that negative view that others have put onto us, it truly is liberating. As you said, it is
Yeah.
life changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're out of prison. We
Deb,
can get
Yeah,
on with our
yeah.
life,
Deb, it's interesting
and
because
not
I
everyone
probably
else.
I probably met you about 4 or 5 years ago, would you say?
Yeah.
And I thought you were the one most confident women that I've ever met. And it's interesting to hear you say that you had so many struggles with yourself.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
we never know what's going on, do we, with people? It's just,
No.
Never. And who are we to judge? Like
yeah.
it's not for us to judge. Everyone goes through trauma in their own way. No two journeys are identical, despite the fact that they may have been through similar things. How you react to something that you've been through is your personal journey, and no one's going to take that away from you. But what we do want to do is to try and lighten that burden, and
Yeah.
show you a positive path of how you can live through it. You were a victim. Absolutely, you were a victim. There is no denying that. No one's taking that away from you. But you know what? Okay. You're a survivor. I don't even like the word survivor. You are a warrior. Am I allowed to
That's
swear?
it.
Am I
Yes.
allowed
That's
to
it.
swear? You are a motherfucking warrior. Damn right you are. Yeah, damn right you are. Damn right you are. You're not a victim. Don't you could choose to stay as a victim, but how does that help you? No, it doesn't help you at all. I'd rather be a warrior than be a victim.
Yeah.
That's right. But as you say, it's hard. But if you can have the right people around you, the right
Yeah,
energy around you, the right
yeah,
words around you, that can help you just start to get a little bit of faith in the process and in yourself. And
that's
before you
right.
know it, thanks, Nicole, before you know it, you look back and you think, oh my God, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
And look at me, I'm a different person.
that's right. That's right. You have to be able to find people that can lift you up, that that
Yes.
can, that can be there with you when you're crying and you're screaming and you're reliving that trauma, and then they can help guide you so that you can get through it to the point where, yes, you're now a survivor. Now you're that warrior.
And that's why we love what you did with Miss Pinup Australia.
Thank you. Thank you. I really
Is
appreciate
there
that. Thank you
anyone
so
or
much.
anything that you would like to have a shout out? Because we're at the end of it, we put something up that's important to us. But if you don't, we'll be putting your stuff up. But is there something that you personally would like to shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank my son.
Oh,
I want to thank my son for making me the woman I am today and giving me the strength to help others.
do
So
you have
his
any
name,
photos of his
I
name's
do. He's
his name's
ironically,
Keenan?
it is. So this is how the universe works. Um, his name is Keenan, which is exactly the same spelling as my surname. But the reason I'm Keenan is because I married Aaron, whose surname is Keenan.
Oh,
And Aaron is one of the only 5 people that met Keenan.
uh,
So the universe sends us crazy stuff,
I
right?
love that.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the gold that we need to hold on to.
Yeah, yeah. And so now, we all carry Keenan with us every day because he's I mean, he was part of us anyway, but
Yeah.
we literally have
Well,
his name.
well, if you would like to, we would love to have a photo
Yeah,
and even maybe one of your favorite sayings that you could share.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Would
anything
that be
you want to
okay?
share?
Yeah, of course, of course. I actually many years ago, the Jeans for Jeans
Yes.
charity. I actually organised. Unfortunately, they didn't back us properly, so we didn't have many people involved. But I organised an event to celebrate what would have been Keenan's 18th birthday.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so a lot of newspapers and a lot of media did stories on Keenan. So, look at again from his experience, I'm sure he would want to help others,
Yes.
so I have no problem sharing his story with people because,
Yeah.
if it helps another mother that is going through with a child that's like your sister, honestly, my
Yeah.
heart, my
I
heart
didn't
bleeds.
realize how it was going to affect, how much it affected
Yeah,
me until I actually started to speak.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I felt every single cell felt something then.
absolutely.
What year did he pass?
2000.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So he was born on the 19th of the 6th, 1999, and he passed away in the 4th of June. So just before his first birthday, 4th of June 2000. So it was a lot. I mean, look, I can now talk about it without crying. My eyes still might, but it's
Raise
been
up.
very hard, very hard. You don't ever get over it, honestly.
No.
Losing a child that you've never, like 25 years later or 24 years later, and I'm still absolutely distraught.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of Nicole's history or story,
No.
but she's lost a child and she
Oh,
always said to me, I can't
Well,
do child loss. And
yeah.
then when you mentioned
I
it,
understand. Oh, I'm
it was,
so
which was
sorry.
great.
Hey, that's
I
okay.
could see Nicole, but I think this is part of your healing journey, sweetness.
Yeah. We have
How
very
old was your bubby?
So she was 3 months old when she died in 96. But she, similar to you, I took her to the doctor, said something's wrong, and they said, go away, she's got colic. Um,
Oh,
she died when she just 24 hours after she had her third needle. And she died of SIDS, but she actually had cancer when she died. So all that
oh,
sickness was actually, it wasn't colic, it was actually tumors growing in her, like her esophagus. And so it's a big story, but she died of SIDS. And so like you, I get the frustration of going to doctors and being told to go away and just, it's
can,
just,
can I tell you, sweetheart, that she came back to Earth to spend 3 months with you, knowing that that's all she was going to get.
yeah,
So 3 months was everything to her. She got to spend 3 months with her mummy. She did. And I guess the positive, because of course we've got to try and take a positive out of all of these horrific traumas. The positive is, sweetheart, that she didn't suffer from the cancer any longer.
yeah, I know.
That her decision was when she came back to you was to just a short visit, but without suffering too severely.
Yeah, I know.
And know that she's there for you, my darling, right next to you. She is there for you and
And what's
loves
her
you with
name,
every
Nicole?
bit of her being.
Rhiannon,
Rhiannon.
Such a beautiful name.
just like
Well,
the
she's probably up there playing with Keenan now, and they're all having a laugh at us.
Yeah,
Going,
song.
oh my God,
these
they're
three.
finally connected. They're finally connected.
Okay, so Pixie, I thought you could tell us a little bit about your online store and your creations that you have going at the moment.
Yes. So Pixie K Creations is Pixie K being my name, and Creations is literally my insane, or no, I shouldn't say insane. I'm not insane. I'm eccentric. I'm definitely eccentric brain.
Yeah.
Creating things that are going to empower women. So my skirts are all one of a kind, handmade, and basically I make to measure. So you can either custom order or you can go to my website and order a skirt that is the only one in the entire world. And the reason why I do that is because your clothing should be as unique as your personality, which is one of a kind. So
I
I'm
love that.
hoping that when these women buy, like my customers, put on this skirt, they feel like $1 million and that they make beautiful memories, because memories are all we have really at the end of the day. So I'm hoping they
That's
put
right.
on this skirt, feel like $1 million, and make beautiful memories that will last them a lifetime. So
Love
not
that.
only do I make skirts, I also make the same thing with bags and head wraps. These head wraps have been extremely popular, not just for a fashion statement, because I literally love them, won't leave the house without one. But I've also had a lot of women that have gone through a journey of chemo
Mm.
that love them, because unlike most others, mine are 95% cotton and 5% elastin. So they're stretchy, and I have hand stitched them so that all you need to do is literally put it on like a hat, and then I send you a tutorial on how to style the front of it. So even though you're going through something that is extremely hard, extremely traumatic, both physically, mentally, emotionally, you can just still feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the point of everything I make.
I wish I knew about them last year when I was going through my journey, because my hair didn't fall out, but it actually broke away, as you can see where it's
Oh no,
growing
yeah.
back. So it literally looked like I had a mullet from the front. And so
Well,
I think if I had them, I could
the
have rocked it. Yeah.
yes, of course. And being an organic cotton fabric, it's very kind to sensitive skin, because a lot of women have a very sensitive skin on their scalp. So I try and make things that will empower women,
Yeah.
and make things that are unique so that they feel empowered. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
have
I
a
know you,
favorite
Nicole, have
style?
bought
Oh, yeah,
some
I've
of
got two
those.
of them. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
my son told me I look like Minnie Mouse in my black one. So it's
Perfect. Oh my God, that's perfect.
that.
Who
So
wouldn't
that's right.
want to look like Minnie Mouse?
Yeah, but no, they're awesome, especially after you've just had a shower and stuff too. Like they're really nice to put on. And so we'll definitely pop some pictures in of all your some of your creations that you've got. The
Thank
links as
you.
well, so other women, and especially would make a really good gift for someone like you said going through cancer as well. So I think yeah, if anyone's looking for something for that, that would be a good gift. So all right, so moving on, we're really interested in your journey with your spirituality, and for me personally,
Yes.
I would love to know how long it took you to find that, especially after losing a child. How long after that did you find spirituality, or did you have it all along? Or I just, yeah, I'd love to hear your journey.
That's a very interesting question. So I would say that when my son passed away, I felt like he got taken from me. I hated God. Like
Mm.
I despised him. Even though I had been not a religious person with religion, but always felt a connection to God. Um, no one can ring me now. um, I hated him for making my little boy suffer so severely, just in order for him to be able to stay an extra day with me. And interestingly enough, I hated God, but then something happened. And I believe that, the universe has a way of making things happen at the exact right time. Something happened that I was able to see a different perspective. So I was still angry with God, but hey, the universe started to guide me a little bit too. So I went and saw a medium, and a medium connected with my son. And I guess what I really needed to know was that he wasn't in pain anymore, and that he was okay, and that because I felt guilt. I felt guilt that he somehow I neglected him, and that's why he died. So I felt guilt that I didn't push the doctors hard enough, or that there must have been something else I could have done to make him stay here with me. But in fact, we know that that's not true.
Yeah.
And that guilt was very hard to release. And I guess that spiritual sort of came in and went, you know what, you need to now look at this from a different point of view. And I guess that's when I was really, my eyes were opened to the whole spirituality thing. But even more so as my life progressed and went through, trauma after trauma after trauma, I had to look at my life for what it was and go, you know what, I need to learn lessons from this. Like, obviously, I mean, you'd be a complete idiot to. They say spiritually, they say that before you come back to Earth for a life experience, that you sign a contract and you agree to all the trauma that is going to go on to you throughout your life. Now, I don't know what I was thinking when I signed that contract, because you have to be a complete idiot to think that all of that was okay. But stupid me clearly did it, because it just keeps on coming.
But
But
it's different there. What we
yeah,
expect here on a physical plane, and we just really don't know. But I agree. I agree with that. philosophy.
Yeah.
But we have to take it away from us. Like we've got to separate it, spirituality and physicality, you know?
Correct. And once you understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and that we're apparently here on this earth to learn life lessons to help us grow spiritually, um, it kind of redefines everything. So you look at trauma, but the trauma is now, I mean, it's still trauma and you're still going to go through it. Like it's still absolutely horrific and you're still going to be mad and you're still going to be angry and emotionally distraught. But you then have to come to a point where you look at it from a different perspective and go, okay, well, what have I learned from this experience? Like, I guess my philosophy now is that despite the negativity that goes on in the world, you've got to try and pull something positive from it. And I think that you have to take comfort in the little things every day. Every day you have to take comfort in the little things. You see a funny video of a dog, dancing. Like that
Yes.
brings you joy, you know what I mean? Or
Or Christmas puppies.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Or watching your children achieve their goals, that there's
Absolutely.
no
All
greater
those
joy than that.
heartwarming moments.
Yes. And it kind of makes you look at life differently. It kind of, I don't know. I think it's basically saved me, to be honest. I was very lucky, blessed to meet two very dear people that I believe are part of my spiritual, family that we've
Yeah.
been together for lifetimes. And, they gave me a swift kick up the bottom, to be honest. And they said, yes, you've gone through all these things, but do you still need to carry it all with you? Like that baggage is really heavy.
That's
That
right.
is a lot to carry.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of, I'm all over it now, because of course you'll never get over it, but it's a matter of going, well, how do I move forward in a positive way? I mean, that luggage is always going to be there, but I don't have to carry it on my shoulders. Perhaps I can have it just down near my feet. Yeah.
Exactly. And we find that philosophy in a lot of different spiritual, you know, theories or what people
Yeah,
believe in,
absolutely.
that we all are going to have that baggage, but why did we carry it for so much longer than we needed to?
That's right. And we have to make a conscious decision to go,
We
you know
do.
what? Yeah, that was absolutely horrific. But do I continue to let it define me?
That's right.
Do I stay as a victim? As a victim.
Yeah.
And yes, you were absolutely a victim. Absolutely. And you
Yeah.
have every right to say you're a victim. But is there a way we can somehow get to that I'm a survivor and then get to that warrior
I'm a
stage?
warrior.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I am a motherfucking warrior. Absolutely.
You know
You
what?
can't
In
say that
future
without swearing. You
podcasts,
have to have it there.
they do. In future podcasts, I'd love it to have you come back, Pixie, to talk
Absolutely.
about some of those things,
Yeah.
um, especially the tougher challenges. And I know it's very close to Nicole's heart. And also my sister, she lost her son this year.
Oh,
So I know she
so
wants to
sorry.
share. I know, and it's giving me goosebumps, and I'm finding it very hard. But I know she would like to share and to support other people as well, or at least exactly like what you're doing. So maybe one
Oh my
day
God,
I could
yes.
interview the whole three of you.
Oh yes, like that's one of the most horrific things that could happen to a woman in a
Yeah,
lifetime is to lose a child.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
oh, I wish I had a tribe of women around me that I could have been supported by, and
Yeah,
then in return uplifted, because that's what it's all about.
that's right.
You receive and then you give.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I know my sister has always been a very spiritual woman, but it's been a very different journey for her this year.
yeah.
And as you can imagine, and I'm
Oh,
not just talking of the negative, I'm seeing some positives as well, those changes of perspectives. But
that's
I'm
right.
not
That's right.
speaking for her, but I can witness big journey, big
Yes,
journey.
yes. Huge, huge. And we need to be there for one another for
for
that.
one another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think that would be good because I mean I'm probably more that person who still carries it. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to learn
Yeah,
those strategies as well, like how to, like you said, leave it next to me but not carry it. So
that's
that would be
right.
so just what do you think you would tell your younger self? What message would you tell yourself right now if you could go back, say 30 years ago? What would you
And the rest. And the rest. Truly, the most important thing I would say to little me is you are loved.
Yes,
You are
beautiful. I
loved.
like that,
Had
Pixie.
had I had I known that when I was little, I think my life would have been very different. I mean, it's not to say I wouldn't have had all the gone through the trauma, but I may have gone through it differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that really is a life lesson that everyone, not just women either, that every human being needs to know, and that is they are loved.
yeah.
Yeah, and
They
we were
are
talking
not alone. They are loved.
exactly, they're not alone. And
That's
Nick and I
right.
were talking about that within the in the break, and she asked me, and it was like I came straight back with an answer as well. I think we all know, and even though it's very similar, they're different words though, they're different,
That's right.
but it still will boil back down to you being your authentic self.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what robs you from that really is, yeah.
Yeah, life experience,
Okay,
negativity, and everything else.
But if you
exactly.
look at it this way, Pix, if you didn't go through what you went through, and spending your whole, I guess, early life trying to find your identity and not feeling loved, but you've now gone on to teach a whole new generation of women how to love themselves. So it's
That's
like,
right.
although it's come from a terrible sort of early life, but I think you've given so many women the ability to do what you weren't able to do.
Thank you. And like I'm not like you lovely ladies. I have no qualifications whatsoever in assisting, psychologically but I can tell you from life experience what has helped me. Will that help you? I,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I hope so. I hope that sharing my experiences will help others. I really do. Hence why I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And you touched on that, Pixie. I want to extend on that because just a week or two ago, I found myself in like I'm a professional, yes, and I found boundaries that I
Yeah,
had to uphold.
that's right.
But I took that home with me and I said, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being.
Correct. That is correct. And you, as a person taking on other people's trauma, you are a human being. You can't get away from that. Like you can try and put up this big gate and go, no, no, I'm not going to allow it to affect you. But of course it's going to.
It does. And
Yeah.
as people, as human beings, as just the community, I think we have an obligation for our
Yes.
fellow
Yeah.
person.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can say I don't have those boundaries like you do because
Yeah.
I'm just talking from life experience. This is what's helped me. And I hope that it will help you, or maybe it'll trigger you to find something that will actually help you. But I have no boundaries. I can just share my life experiences in the hope that I can help somebody else.
And we so appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're definitely doing that. So what's next for Pixie K Creations?
I don't know. I mean, I've got a whole lot of new ranges coming out. Parks Elvis Festival is coming up, so that means Elvis, 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 and then a whole lot of other fabulous events. Um, I don't believe I've done a lot through different avenues of helping people, but I haven't reached my full potential yet. There's still more to come, and I just have to find. Maybe it's with you gals. I don't know. I still have to find what I'm
Yeah.
I'm searching for. My purpose
And
in
you
life
know
is
what?
still fulfilled.
It does it. That's the future, Pixie.
That's right.
Today, this is what Pixie is doing. And when the universe comes knocking and saying, detour,
That's
then
right.
you'll know.
And the thing is that you've got to be ready to receive it too. That's the
You
other thing.
do. Yeah,
They keep on sending us signals, and most of us ignore it, myself included.
absolutely.
So you need to go, yes, I'm open. I'm open to receiving the
Yeah,
information you're trying to share with me. And
yeah.
yeah, I want to continue my purpose in life, which is helping others.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
So that kind of ties in with our last question of what message would you like to share with other women that are listening today?
You've got this. You know, you do. You honestly do. You can get through this. Yes, it's horrific. It is absolutely horrendous what you're going through. And my heart literally bleeds for you, but you do have this. So you must remember that you have to look after yourself. Self-care is so important. We get lost as women. We always get lost as women because we're someone's wife or we're someone's girlfriend or, you know, we're someone's mother. Hence the name of your beautiful podcast. But we are also a human being that deserves love and support and time spent on us. So, you know, one of my favorite sayings is, you know, the whole glass half full thing.
Yeah.
You cannot assist others if your glass is half empty. You need to be able to refill your glass so that there's something there for you, because once you feel good about you, then you can help others.
And it just comes more naturally then when you've found that
Absolutely.
in yourself. Yeah, it's
Absolutely
there. It's there.
Oh, we
It's
all have
there.
the ability. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do. We just need to find
Just got to
it.
get rid of that white noise
That's
called,
right. The negativity,
yeah,
the world around us, all the negative stuff. And we need to find our tribe. We need to find that positive influence so that we can go, you know what? Yeah, hell yeah, I've got this.
yes. Oh, that's a beautiful message for our people.
Amazing.
I am going to tell you though, I am going to move heaven and earth to try and get a little Chrissy skirt from you this year.
Oh, you better
I'm
be
going to
quick,
cross my
though.
fingers for the universe that I can splurge on something beautiful like that. And I can
Okay.
just see myself parading around Christmas with a beautiful Christmas skirt.
Well, Monday's the day, my darling. I've finished my Christmas range now. I'm just up to the waistband. So Monday for you, sweetheart, straight on that website.
Okay. Okay.
That's awesome.
And you'll put some pictures up, won't you, Nicole,
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
There'll
beautiful
be pictures up
designs.
throughout the whole
Love them.
podcast. Yeah. So much.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's just been a true honor and a privilege to be able to chat with you, beautiful divine beings.
And we hope you come back as well and share some more of your
I'm here as often as you want me. I'm here. I'm here. If I know that I am, even if we just help one woman, just one other woman, then it is so worth this.
Yeah. Thank you. We so
You're
appreciate
welcome.
your support.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Love to you always.
Well, I think that's it. So we will say goodbye to everyone, and we are so grateful to have our beautiful guest, Pixie, on. She has got a plethora of stories, I'm sure, that she can tell us, but she can't do that all in one podcast, so she will come back. So thank you, Pixie, and everyone have a great week and take care of yourself and try and listen to some of the beautiful little strategies we're helping with or sharing.
And we'll talk to you all next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
She's the one behind the scenes, holding up the broken dreams, wiping tears they never see, lost in the shadows of who she used to be. Does mom have a name? Does she have a face? And she's the one behind the scenes, holding up the broken dreams, wiping tears they never see, lost in the shadows of who she used to be. Does mom have a name? Does she have a face?